ready to go. But joke's on them, it's an explosive device. Speaking of Arizona, I've tried to go to Jerry Sheridan, the new sheriff in Maricopa, in Arizona, and I've tried 3 times going there to try and set up a meeting. I've gotten no phone calls back, nothing. As far as I'm concerned, Maricopa Sheriff's Department is compromised. I'm trying to get the EOD to inspect this phone because I fucking spent $1,000 and bought this thing because it would be a great smoking gun. But Tucker also promotes Levels, which is a company by Casey Means. If you guys have heard about the seed oils, how it got popular the last year, that's who's responsible for it. Casey and Callie Means. Callie Means is a Council on Foreign Relations card holder. Council on Foreign Relations, by the way, was founded by, I forget their names. Whatever. One dude was sent, I think they were founded in 1921, 1923. One of the dudes was sent by Wilson. Was it Wilson? Anyway, he went to Russia in 1917 to go meet with the new Bolshevik Jews, and the other guy who founded it he represented J.P. Morgan. They're both lawyers, Shaboskoys, that represented J.P. Morgan after the Great Depression. So that's your tie to the Council on Foreign Relations to the Jews. Casey and Callie Means have ties to 23andMe. Levels, the company Levels is a biometric health data tracking company. This is where they sell you the wearables. So there's ties to RFK. These are the guys who infiltrated Maha. They have Casey Means interned at 23andMe with Susan Wojcicki, or Ann Wojcicki. Susan Wojcicki was the CEO of YouTube, I believe. She just died of this turbo cancer. Allegedly, who knows? We can't find her death certificate. Death certificates in California are supposed to be public. But 23andMe, if you were smart enough to not sell your DNA or pay to give your DNA over to the federal government just so you could find out if you're foreign African so you could say the N-word, someone in your family probably did. And the way DNA works is you're all tied together. If you're someone in your family sent it, they have your DNA. Although they have our DNA plenty of other ways, but just so we know, people sent it. 23andMe just sold to Regeneron. I forget this Jew's name. CEO is the CEO. But
Leonard Schleifer, he's a doctor.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Another biotech company. So the threat is very real. I feel like I'm rambling. Repost the space. Follow the house, please. These guys dish out a lot of information. We need to really network. If we're not going to take the world back and preserve our freedom by talking on spaces all the time. I really encourage everybody to go print out some flyers, print out some information. Most importantly, learn as much as you can. Take notes. I have a notepad and a pen right in front of me right now. I take notes all day. Please do this. While people are speaking, go down to the Pell. People are dropping good information in there because that's where people just hop in here and they're like, oh, I don't really want to speak, but I just want to drop some info. Scroll through that. Please promote everything. Guys, great space. And I'll land there. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for all that intel.
Just get the feeling, man.
We got a lot of tunnel rats. Be some more congressmen or ABL guys, APAC, spies are everywhere. You need to get them out. Of course, can't leave them out. So
yeah, look,
they want to press free speech, censor any criticism of Israel and Assad, complicity, of course, in the blackmail operation. It's ongoing, by the way, irrespective of whether anyone believes Epstein's alive. Even if he wasn't, someone else has taken his place. He was a cog in the wheel. He was a mid-level operator, but he had Ken Minaj, he had Ari Ben-Minaj, he had Robert Maxwell, and Ghislaine Maxwell. He was surrounded by Mossad agents.
He had Ehud Barak.
We started a company together, Carbine, to do what? Collect military data to Palantir. So these people have their hands and tentacles, I like to say, everywhere. And so he's a focal point because he's surrounded with mystery, and they like to obscure what's happened and just brush it off like it's not important. It is important because again, it's ongoing. It didn't end. Just there's new names now, people you don't hear about. Some you do know about. You'll hear about a Sheikh Cohen that got prosecuted for trafficking. You don't hear him, but no one talks about him. Well, Jessica Aver prosecuted him successfully, and then she got killed. What happened to him? He got some time in jail, but he brought in at least 25 people or more into the U.S. That's what he was convicted for. So you know it's a lot more than that. Epstein was only convicted of one count of trafficking. This guy was 25. No one talks about him. No one talks about Noel Greenberg as well, the guy that was blackmailing Matt Gaetz and basically prevented him from becoming Nygaard as well. I mean, there's just so many of these guys. You know, these are actual human traffickers that have been convicted, and yet no one talks about it. And someone else takes their place. So it's just like an assembly line. Really like what that rabbi said he witnessed in the synagogue, in the assembly line, little kids that they're molesting in those tunnels. No one even talks about 7-7 Al-Qabad and all those rabbis that got arrested. So, again, these guys are everywhere, not just even in America.
All right. So I wanted to add something to that, right? I feel like a lot of people overlook this, right? And me personally, I'm not as, well versed as Truth and Rich and all these guys that can really like spew out names like fucking machines and shit like that. But one thing that I do pay attention to is the spiritual side of it, okay? Because I'm a Christian, all right? So one thing that we keep forgetting about is it's not just the molesting factor that's going on, right? They are using these children for their blood, okay? For the adrenochrome, for, the fountain of youth, all this other shit. And a lot of people overlook that, right? A lot of people forget to touch on that. I want you to realize something. These modern day so-called Jews that we're dealing with, they are not the Jews of the Bible, okay? They come from the bloodline of Amalek. For those who don't know what the Amalek, what Amalek is, that literally means the blood drinkers. Okay, so they go after these little children, right? Why do you think there's so many bombs and orphans in Gaza right now? You think that's just all for no reason? No, it's another type of grab so they can grab more fucking kids, right? It's the same thing that went down in Haiti with the fucking Clinton foundations, right? What they do is they reach out, they find these poor kids that nobody fucking gives a fuck about, or at least not in the first world countries, because we're so distracted with our own bullshit, right? They take kids from Mexico, they take kids from out here in the Child Protective Service agencies. They use these kids for their blood, okay? And a lot of people overlook that. It's not just the Jewry that we have to worry about. These guys literally worship Baal and Moloch, okay? So it's not just,
there's a Moloch statue on top of the synagogue on Jeffrey's Island.
Thank you. There's a lot of shit that people overlook. These modern day Talmudic Jews, I want you to remember, this is something that they say in their Talmud. They believe the Lord and Savior, the King of Kings, is burning in hell in human excrement and semen, okay? They are very religious, right? So, but it's not the religion that we think of. It's the complete opposite, and a lot of people overlook that spiritual aspect to it. It's not just, they want to molest these kids. They molest these kids, and then they use that to bring up the fear inside of them, and then once they bring that fear up, they drain the blood out of them. These people are fucking sick.
They're satanic. It's the synagogue of Satan. And I've been getting hit with all of these strikes on X whenever I post about that. I'm literally just citing Revelation 2:9, Revelation 3:9, sites. You can't say that. Oh, it's hate speech. Oh my gosh, what are you talking about? That's what the Bible says. And so we were talking about...
This is exactly what
literally,
Christ warned us
about. It's literally what it is. I mean, they're on top, but they call it the temple on Jeffrey Epstein's island. It is a synagogue. Okay, we have to be allowed to call it that, but they're coming after the free speech we have free speech. We're allowed to say what we're seeing and articulate our thoughts, and I'm getting hit with all of these strikes for just calling it the synagogue of Satan, but that's what God calls it. And so, I mean, I don't know who was saying it earlier. I mean, there's good and evil no matter what your religion is. We all know that this is evil, but there is a spiritual factor where for me to wake up, because I'm a Christian too, it was literally because I grew up in the South of America. I was taught, just like Ted Cruz was talking about in the freaking Tucker Carlson interview, we were always taught in the Bible Belt, those who bless Israel will be blessed. Those who curse Israel will be cursed. And they never made the differentiation between the Israels. There are 3 different Israels mentioned in the Bible. There's Israel, the person, Jacob, who wrestled God, and then his name got changed to Israel. There's Israel, the nation, the land. And then there's Israel, God's church, us, Christians, people who believe in him. And they definitely hate Jesus, like he was saying. They hate him. I mean, they hate us. They hate everybody who is not a Jew. And so it shouldn't be so shocking that they're treating us this way, whenever you read any part of the Talmud. Any part of it, you will see that it is true. They call him a sorcerer. We base our entire concept of time on Jesus Christ, by the way, his life. and they just say that he's burning in hell. He is God to me and to all Christians. And there is a spiritual aspect, and I just, we're not going to go on a whole spiritual rant, but when it comes to Christians and how they manipulate us, because this is what's happening. Most of our leaders are alleged Christians, and so they manipulate the Bible, and they did it to me. They did it to me growing up. They did it. That's why I was like, okay, yay, Israel, until I realized what was going on. And they manipulate the Bible. They just manipulate the whole thing in order to get us to like monetarily support them, to just say they can do no wrong, they literally spiritually abuse Americans into supporting anything and everything that they do, even genocide. And that is what is happening. And I'm getting so tired of seeing all of these little babies, all of these poor women getting absolutely bombed to death. And they don't care. They hate us. They bombed that church, you guys. And the cross stood. The cross did not fall. The cinder blocks that the cross was standing on, that held up. It didn't fall. But they are trying to make points that they are the ones in control. And until we tell them and make it clear that they are not, they kind of are. And so that's why we're on the space. That's why we're not listening to people like John try to shut us up. We're not going to listen to Trump try to shut us up. Like, Trump is a person. He represents these ideas. He represents these principles, these policies that we thought he represented, but he doesn't. And so it's very hard. But I think it was Richard, you were saying that even the boomers are waking up. My parents are boomers, and they're coming out of the cult. I mean, we're all seeing that we have to choose principles or party, principles or personalities. Populism can be very, very dangerous when it's just, oh my gosh, you're the most popular person in the high school. We love you. We all love you. What is that person doing? What is that person supporting? Is it genocide? Is it the people that are committing it? Like, we really need to just take a step back and look.
And the reason why there's so much covering up in politics as a whole, which is another thing that we overlook as well, is because these people are a part of it as well. If you notice
all of them.
Notice every single president pretty much every single president that has been elected is a Freemason. If you look up what Freemasonry is, it has very deep roots rooted in witchcraft, occultism, Jewish Kabbalah, right? All three of those things line up. You want to know what guys want to, I think I spoke about this last night in the space with you, Truth. Dr. Bill Slobin, right? The guy's a Jew. He used to be a fucking Jew. Now he's a Christian, right? And when he was in the witchcraft, they told him focus on Jewish Kabbalah, and then if you really want to dabble a little bit more, go into Freemasonry, right? And then you look up what's going on with things like Pizzagate, fucking John Podesta, fucking Hillary Clinton, both of the Clintons, right? This shit is not like they're a part of it, guys. That's the reason why there's so much covering up going on. That's the reason why Trump.
Yeah, can I just say the Freemason lodges? Sorry, I just want to say the Freemason lodges in my hometown literally have no windows, and they're all across the street from middle schools. So it's kind of like fitting in with the pedophilia club.
No, it's definitely like if you just do any type of research on Freemason, what they do is they try to cover it up and try to make it seem like, oh, it's a brotherhood thing. Yeah, that's the Blue Lodge. That's the shit that people don't know about, right? I do a lot of studying on this shit. The conspiracy and all that shit, that's my area. So I can't spout out names like Truth and Richard. But if we're talking tinfoil shit, that's me. I got it. All right. So that's the Blue Lodge.
But it's real occultism,
once
witchcraft.
you get past the 33rd degree, which is where most Masons don't make it to, because once you get to that point, if they feel that you're ready, first of all, you have to be recommended by a member, right, to even go further beyond that, right? People like Aleister Crowley, people like fucking what's his name, Albert Pike, and all these other motherfuckers. If you really want to go to that level, you have to sell your soul. They believe in Lucifer, the light bearer. That's literally what they say. All right, so this shit goes deeper.
It'd be funny if you got to the last part and you get the last little part and they give you Yama.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Wait,
climb up the rank and then they're like, all right, is this guy base? Can we let him in? All right, cool. Yeah.
No, let me say the joke.
We worship fucking Satan. Are you in or are you out? Literally, that's what they do.
You get to the last part and they give a yarmulke and a menorah. You're like, what? This was what it was.
Probably. I wouldn't fucking doubt it because that, like, I kid you not, that shit runs hand in hand with the modern day Jewish mysticism and Jewish Kabbalah, bro. That shit runs hand in hand.
But bringing it back to the subject of the site though, of what Truth Teller is doing, and Truth, I saw your tweet. Yes, keep doing this. Because this headway and other people, again, like Diligent, are helping with it. But to bring it all the way to the end, I keep saying it, all roads lead to that Mossad connection. And then once you realize that a blackmail operation that was being conducted in conjunction with the Mossad, it means the slavery of all the rest of us. That's what it means. That's what you're fighting for. This is a fight between freedom and slavery. You can't let it go, and we're too far down. You can't go 3/4 of the way down the rabbit hole and then run all the way back up for the blue pill. I'm sorry, but the best way, the only way, is forward. We need to burn our ships in the harbor like Cortez. Keep going because we're going to win. So let's don't take our. When people come on, now I notice it's always, tell me truth. Don't you agree with this? It's always, why are you talking about this? Stop talking about this. Talk about something else. That's when you know you're winning. So keep talking about this one thing, the connection between Epstein and the Mossad, the fact that we're not getting answers at all. You're not getting a no or a yes. Our government is saying we can't answer that question about the Mossad connection, the intelligence connection. But if we get that answer, which we will, I am telling you, they are going to collapse. We are going to win. This relationship is going to break down, and you'll be far more freer as a result of it.
Thank you, David. I'm just popping in, sorry, because someone else had his hand up before me, and he's been waving buyers, it's buyers, blah, 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 updates, buyers updates. So it's up to the host and co-host. If you want to let him speak, and then I will have my turn afterwards.
Yes, buyers, updates.
Truth.
Okay, go ahead.
Ruth, real quick, the Freemasons that were the founders of the country are not the same Freemasons that we know them as. They were deliberately infiltrated by B'nai B'rith, funded by the Rothschilds in the 1800s, and I'll grab the receipts on that. But George Washington was not some satanic, Kabbalistic, subversion agent. Thomas Jefferson, Ben Franklin, these people were not subversion. In fact, they wanted us to exclude these people. They knew who they were, but
they found hella bodies
under
Ben Franklin's old home in Philadelphia. So I hate to
I
break it to you, but
hope that he was stacking them
too.
I hope he was
might have
stacking
been part
them,
of that shit too. I believe they found 1,200 different human bones from I think it was from 1,200 different people. It was more than 1,200, but it was from 1,200.
Grab that for me. I want to see that. That's awesome.
I'll send it to you. I got you.
Who published the article? What's their last name and their genealogy?
I mean, I'll have to look it up, the article. But like I said, tinfoil shit, that's my specialty. So trust me, I got it in the archive somewhere.
Bobby, trust me, Broskowitz. I'm guaranteeing you it's probably something like that.
I'll pull it up. I got you.
Hey guys, thank you very much for just creating this space and bringing awareness to the situation that all of mankind is facing. I really appreciate that. I got started into the JQ question, the Jewish question, pretty intently about 8 years ago, and it was through reading my Bible, actually, and most of Christianity is Judeo-Christianity in the United States, and they don't have the receipts. They can't back up their doctrine, and I spent a ton of time over the last 8 years digging through the Bible forward and backward, getting the receipts, and I can prove everything that I think and why, and I know most of it off the top of my head as to where it's located and stuff like that. So today was a really great day for me. I went to church, a church that I just recently went to for the first time, set up a meeting with the pastor, went in and talked with the pastor, and told him all about the Jews. And it's a Judeo-Christian church, like 99% of churches in the United States. And I was like, I don't know if you'll let me go to church here, but, I need you to know that this is what I believe and why first. And he said, no, I'd be welcome to come to church there, and that he couldn't get completely on board with what I was saying, but that I brought up a lot of really interesting points, and that he'd have to give that some thought. So, I'll take that as a win. And then went off to go get some chicken feed from the feed store, and there was a lady there in a nice dress, and I said, "You must have gone to church today." And she's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Do you understand the allegory of Galatians chapter 4? And she said, "What's that?" I was like, "Well, nobody wants to talk about it at church, but you ought to dig into that allegory." And we went out in the parking lot and probably talked for about 25 minutes, and I told her all about the Jews and the truth about how I don't know how much you guys read the Bible or how much you know, but Christ gave a really interesting parable in Matthew 21 and made it abundantly clear that the reason that the Jews killed Jesus was to steal his inheritance. And if you read Galatians 3:16 and Romans 4:13 and 14, you'll find that inheritance was the world. So according to the Bible, the Jews killed Jesus so they could take over the world. And there are a million things like that throughout the entire Bible. As it turns out, much to my surprise, because I was raised Judeo-Christian, the whore of Babylon is Jerusalem. Like without a doubt. In Matthew 23, Jesus blamed them for shedding all the righteous blood on the earth, and very specifically, "O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets and stonest them which were sent unto you." And then in Luke 13, Jesus makes it abundantly clear that the only place that a prophet could possibly die was in Jerusalem. And then in Revelation chapter 11, we see that the two prophets that are the witnesses, their dead bodies lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. So we see that the great city in Revelation 11 is Jerusalem, and that it's spiritually wicked, right? And then Revelation 17 shows us that the whore of Babylon, it says, "And the woman that thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth." So then at the end of Revelation 18, the Bible tells us that God avenges the blood of the prophets on the whore of Babylon. Well, if only Jerusalem can kill a prophet, then that makes the whore of Babylon Jerusalem. And there's so many things that are just like that. You mentioned earlier, like the different ideas of Israel. I mean, have you guys noticed that from the very beginning, Jacob coveted his brother's inheritance, and then Jacob straight up lied to his father about his identity in order to also steal his brother's blessing? I mean, this is the nature of the nation of Israel. God renames Jacob Israel, and Jacob wrestled with God, and when Jacob wrestled with God, he beat God in the wrestling match, right? And God says, "Let me go." And Jacob said, "I won't let you go until you bless me." So Jacob extorted God for a blessing. And it's like, man, there's so many evidences, and they're everywhere you look. But something to give us all hope is that in the book of Ezekiel, I think it's chapter 16, God said, like, Israel's called a whore more than anybody else in the entire Bible, but in Ezekiel chapter 16, God says that he's going to gather together all who Israel loved and with whom she had taken pleasure. And he's going to gather them together with all who Israel has hated. And he's going to strip her naked. And he's going to show the world her abominations. And I believe that that's what's happening right now. I think that right there is the culmination of this space existing. And
you don't speak Spanish?
If you look at it, the last place in the world you would want to be is in bed with God's ex-wife when he comes back. And the Old Testament says that God gave Israel a writing of divorcement, and he put it in her hand. And so Israel is the ex-wife of God. And, First Corinthians, I think it is, 7, the man who had taken his father's wife in the church at Corinth, that's a picture of Christianity The Bible says that ye shall be called the sons of God. And what has Christianity done but climbed in bed with their father's ex-wife? So, anyhow, I'll land there.
All right.
God does say that Israel is like whoring after somebody. I mean, like Hosea 4:15, you're a whore, Israel. Like literally, it's true what he said.
Yeah, first, Isaiah chapter 1, verse 21 says, how is the faithful city become a harlot? Righteousness once lodged in it, but now murderers.
I just want to say it's good for you to talk to your pastor about this because there is a huge evangelical problem where everybody feels like they have to side with Israel, and I would encourage all of the Christians on this space to do the same thing. Take these verses that we're talking about, go to Revelation 2:9, Revelation 3:9, it talks about the synagogue of Satan, and just point this out to them and say, how are you not speaking on this at a time like this when children are being abused, like they're being raped to death? You need to talk to your pastors very plainly about this because we all need to wake up. But the crux of the problem really kind of lands on the church right now, and they 100% of the time almost are just. I mean, they were at my church raising money. I had to leave the church because they were raising money to give to the IDF. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? Why are we raising money? Why are we funding war as a church? So you need to start going to your pastors and talking to them about this, getting their opinion, seeing if you're still welcome there, but just planting the seed of this idea in their brains because they're so brainwashed, a lot of them. And I hate to say it, I hate to say it. I'm a Protestant Christian, but I hate to say it. It's true. And we need to we have to demand accountability from everybody, politicians, pastors, priests, everybody. We need our leaders to be above reproach. That's what the Bible says too. That our leaders need to be above reproach, and right now they are not. And we're just sitting by and letting it all happen. I would encourage everybody to read the Bible because it's very enlightening and you get a lot of wisdom from it, even if you don't want to believe it. But just talk to your pastors about this because we need to wake up the church because I think that the politicians are just evil, for the most part, and they know that they're supporting genocide. But we need to get the Christians to wake up because they're really brainwashed by this.
If you guys would allow me, it seems a little untoward, but I've made 7 videos and put them on Rumble explaining the truth about the Jews and the Bible. And if you guys can use that, I get nothing out of this. I've spent thousands of hours digging through the Bible and going over history and stuff like that. And I'm not monetized on any platform. Well, I guess technically I'm monetized on Rumble. I've made $8.60 something cents, and I don't see any of that until I get to 100, I think. So I've gotten paid literally nothing.
You're getting there.
I don't care if I do.
The truth doesn't pay well.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
I'm laying up my treasures in heaven. So anyhow, I've made 7 videos and stuck them on there. If it's somebody who's like a diehard Judeo-Christian, the first video I made is called "The Gospel of the Kingdom," and it's kind of like a sleeper video to get into Christians' heads and start calling out the conflicts with what they claim they believe that can't possibly be true at the same time. Like Christianity believes that Jesus is the Messiah and believes that Jesus kept the law. The problem with their belief is that if that's true, there's other things they can't believe. And so in John 8:44, Jesus said that their father was the devil. Now, either that's true, or Jesus broke the law, because the law said, "Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor." And so you really have a dilemma, because either Christ was a false accuser, or the Jews' father really is the devil. And they want to hold 2 mutually exclusive ideas at the same time, and they don't even recognize that that's what they're trying to do. And so there's tons of those types of scenarios that I try to bring out. But in case anybody here doesn't know about the allegory of Galatians chapter 4, I'd kind of like to put the question out there. Did anybody here know what the allegory of Galatians 4 is?
I'm sorry, I didn't even hear that.
No.
What was the question? I didn't hear it.
Do you know about the allegory?
My question is, does anybody know
With the allegory of what?
No idea.
Galatians 4.
No, I have no idea. Tell us.
Okay. So in Galatians, one verse in Galatians 3. In Galatians 3, verse 16, the Bible says, "Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. He saith not unto seeds as of many, but as of one, and to thy seed, which is Christ." And so with that verse, the Apostle Paul disinherits the nation of Israel as having any inheritance whatsoever from Abraham. Now, you get into Galatians 4, starting in verse 22, and the Bible says, "For it is written that Abraham had two sons, the one by a bondwoman and the other by a free woman, which things are an allegory, for these are the two covenants. The one from Mount Sinai, which gendereth to bondage, which is Hagar. For this Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia, and answereth to Jerusalem, which now is, and is in bondage with her children." Well, here's the deal, guys. Abraham had these two wives, Sarah and Hagar. And the first wife was barren. And the second wife was a slave out of Egypt. And the second wife gave birth to the first son, Ishmael, who ultimately was cast out in the wilderness and received no inheritance from Abraham. And that happened when the son of promise came. Now, if you overlay that as an allegory, Abraham is a picture of God. Sarah is a picture of the Abrahamic covenant, which that covenant is salvation through faith. And the covenant of Moses just happens to be a slave out of Egypt. Like Hagar was a slave out of Egypt, so is Israel a slave out of Egypt. Hagar was cast out into the wilderness and divorced and rejected, and her son got no inheritance, just as the law of Moses is the nation of Israel. And that's why Hagar is Mount Sinai and answereth to Jerusalem, like I answer to Bill. God says Hagar, and Jerusalem says, hey, what? And that nobody preaches on Galatians 4:22 through the end of the chapter. And it's monumental what it means. It's huge. It would shake the very foundation of Christianity if they understood what the Bible actually says and what the Bible actually shows. And the woman who had the attire of a harlot in Proverbs chapter 7, that entire story is about Jerusalem. And I laid that all out as neatly as I could in a document called in a video called "Do You Understand?" And if you want, you can look through my stuff here on X and you'll find those videos, but they're all organized pretty well on Rumble under Bill Byers Truth.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I just got you.
I think that's great. Yeah, definitely. I'll talk to your pastors about this because they need to know that you're aware that they're being cowardly about it.
So the biggest challenge is with these mega churches, the likes of, Kevin Copeland or Joel Osteen. They're both Jews, by the way, ethnically, and they're funded by Jews, and they're there just to be subversive and stray real Christians from the righteous path. And because they get so much funding and they have all this influence, and they live such lavish lifestyles too, and throw it in your face, they even have their own stores selling their merchandise. It's a huge challenge to try to sway people that are just completely brainwashed, especially the older generations. My faith is in the younger generations because they're a lot more open-minded, objective, and they haven't bought into all this nonsense, so they see past it. We do have a lot of hands.
Would throw a hissy fit if he seen any of the shit that goes on nowadays in the church. Like
blasphemy. It's not proper worship.
He literally flipped tables behind that shit. My father's place is not.
No, he literally was. They forget about that side of Jesus. I mean, Jesus had all these run-ins with Jewish leadership all the time. That's what that was about. Like, the Christians don't follow Christ. They don't follow him. They are comfortable with this illusion that they are, but they're not even willing to get to know his real character about it.
But yeah, truth was about to get to the hands.
Yeah, there are a lot of hands. I'll apologize in advance. I don't know the order. I think it's the lady that's next, the mother.
Can I go?
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you, True. Since it's very late here, I'm in Canada. It's already past midnight, so I cannot speak too loud. And I will be very short. I'll be very short. I want to thank Buyers Updates for what he brought, because it's, it needs to be said, it needs to be clarified. I'm, as a Roman Catholic myself, I've met some crazy evangelical Christians inside the Catholic Church. They were actually clothing themselves with the Catholic dogma, but their message was plain Judeo-Christian. It was a mix of born-again Christian with Baptist, the Baptist evangelist. So it was kind of a mix of both, and the charismatics. Probably you heard about them, eh? The charismatics that just raise their hands, above someone, and in the name of Jesus, I'm gonna heal you, and that whoever this woman or this man, they just like fall down on the ground, and then they don't really pretend they are healed physically, but they come back after a couple days later for a testimony in front of the same crowd, and they say, "Oh well, my life changed. My life changed dramatically. Now I stopped doing this. I stopped being that. I stopped seeing this or that friend. I changed my life entirely. Well, actually, I stopped seeing my actual boyfriend or girlfriend because I was told by Jesus in a dream that it was not the man or the woman for me." It made me sick to my stomach because it was so lame. It's so lame. It just shows that these people don't understand the scripture. First of all, for miracles, spiritual miracles to happen, you first have to understand the fundamental principles of Christianity. You have to understand the values that are being taught, so you can follow them, you can integrate them, and not just obey the people who will tell you to submit to these values. So that was my that was my remarks for tonight. Thank you, everyone.
Appreciate it.
This Judeo-Christian thing is a huge problem, you guys. We have to start telling the churches that we know, Protestant, Catholic, Eastern Orthodox, like, you just gotta go in there and let them know,
Hey, just
Definitely.
let me, if you would. The Bible says that you cannot serve two masters. And it tells us, "Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers." And it says that a house divided against itself cannot stand. So Judeo-Christianity isn't just doomed, it's damned.
Wise words. So, when it comes to messaging, I do believe the religious aspect, the approach they use definitely matters, and you can see they subverted from it deliberately to be able to spread, this fake version of what they call Judeo-Christian values, just to be able to, again, pull the wool over people's eyes and make them believe that, they should worship Israel, otherwise they won't be blessed. So, as part of Operation Mockingbird, they also hire people, the feds literally, to go and run news stations, and they make them anchors, or they'll make them even independent with massive followings. And then they'll put in mixed messaging, so they'll put a little bit about what you want to hear, and then they'll tell you what they want you to believe. And they'll confuse people with their messaging, and that's what I find guys like Tucker Carlson to be. I've done some research on this guy in his past, and it was a little shocking to me. It's the coincidences that I noticed is too much to just stay quiet on. And said, in the 1980s, when he made his 2 trips to Nicaragua, while his dad was a CIA agent managing affairs there, including the drug trafficking, human trafficking, and arming of the Contras to get rid of the democratically elected government that was there under Daniel Ortega, what was he doing there with his friend? I mean, if he's doing stuff like that and claiming to be a freedom fighter, he should be registering on the FARA. So now I really don't trust this guy and what his motives are, especially since he was also an early supporter of the Iraq War, and he just was completely aloof as to the reality there and said, well, you just looked at Iraqis like they were second-class citizens. Who cares? They have it coming. Who cares if a million of their lives have been lost and then they'd also been starved off from the sanctions that have been imposed in the 1990s. Then you just see how dirty this guy is, and with his background. He's posing with these DIN Corps contractors who were known for trafficking women and girls in Bosnia and Herzegovina before he met with them. And he would have known the background because, again, his father was CIA. Rather than be honest about his past, he plays dumb. He's like, I didn't know my dad was CIA until after he passed away, even though it was mentioned before. He knew while his dad was still alive. He's just playing dumb, and then he went out of his way to also call Nick the subverter, saying that although he's talented, he's just looking to, undermine other conservative talkers, so basically just giving them a backhanded compliment. So you really have to be careful with these guys. Never cease common sense and rational thinking, irrespective of who's talking to you, especially if it's, one of these Judeo-Christian church leaders, or if it's one of these Fed-sponsored journalists like a Tucker Carlson. And he'll do some good interviews. I've read some of his interviews. He's done some good ones and controversial ones. He's done it with Princess Vladimir Putin and also the president of Iran. He also claimed the CIA hacked his Signal account because he was going to go to Russia while he was on Fox News to meet with Putin, but then sure enough, he did it anyway. They told him to stand down and not do it, but then he was allowed to do it without consequence. Kind of makes you wonder. And still doesn't have to register with FARA. So that's why I put up Tucker, because it matters where people get their news from, especially since, the powers that be have figured out that mainstream media news is dying. CNN's a dying brand. Fox is a dying brand. Rupert Murdoch's, that entity of his business is dying. So now they're using these types of influencers like Tucker that have amassed a massive following, and their videos get millions of views. And he mentioned the one on, I'm trying to remember the politician that he interviewed. It was Milei in Argentina. He interviewed him before the elections and literally committed in election interference. That interview got over 300 million views, and he wasn't even up in the polls at that time, but he ended up taking the election victory. And people just thought it was strange that he would come in and do this type of interview before an election, because outsiders should not be trying to influence or sway an election. That should be something that's carried out internally without influence. Of course, that didn't happen because they wanted to install someone like Milei, who's just a globalist shill that takes orders from powers that be. And sure enough, what did he do as soon as he got in? He withdrew from BRICS. He gave away all the gold, and he allowed Elon to come in to scoop up his lithium. And of course, he made his trip to Israel as well. I mean, Nick Fuentes summarized it all quite well. So be wary of who you get your news from. Never cease critical thinking, and always be prepared to challenge their views. And that's what I saw today. I was kind of impressed and awed today when I saw people challenging the congressman. The way he did, he came in and tried to control the room, and he failed, and he just kind of crashed out. So that's keep at it is what I say. I can't see any hands anymore. Maybe Ginny and Richard can give me a hand and pick a hand. I mean, who hasn't spoken yet? I guess Prashant hasn't talked yet. Zog just came up. Let me be frank. We'll go to Prashant. Go ahead. Prashant, are you there?
I think Zogwop's been up here for a while.
Yeah, go to Zog and then let me be frank.
Okay. Go ahead, Zog.
Howdy, everybody. How y'all doing? All right.
Good yourself. Go for it.
Not too bad. So I raised my hand. I think the conversation has shifted slightly, but I do have a story about a Judeo-Christian establishment that I was recently associated with. This place, it's every inch a 501c3 government-controlled, tax-exempt corporation. It's the like, and the pastor, I do believe, is a crypto Jew. He's got the hook nose and the low-hanging ears, and I think he knows what he's doing. I just get the feeling that he's there on assignment to deceive the goyim and make sure these people never realize who they are or who their God is, and to push this Judeo-Christian Trinity garbage, basically. And so I have a funny story about something that happened one of the last times a couple months ago I went there. They had some immigrant from Africa, straight up African, fresh off the boat, had the accent and everything. And he was talking, he pepped up in the Sunday school class about something about, we need to recognize Jewish behavior or something, because apparently, in Africa, they know who, I was thinking this guy's ahead of us even as white people, he knows who his enemy is. And so he said, when he said that, we recognize this Jewish behavior, I could see the pastor, I could see a couple of the administrators, they just like squirmed in their seat, like, ooh, this red alert, like we're not allowed to let the conversation wander into this territory. And it was visual confirmation that these people are shills, that they're owned by whatever government Jewish, they won't let them speak about it. And it was such a visual confirmation of that, and that was enough for me. That was the last service I've attended at that place, and yeah, it really is a problem, like Guinea was saying. Absolutely. I forget we were talking about something else when I raised my hand. I forget what it was, but anyway, I digress. This space is awesome. It's been awesome listening to all of y'all talk. Great.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll do more spaces, man. I put up a poll to see if, cause I used to do spaces all the time, and then I took a break. It's a lot of responsibility, it takes time, but I'll put the time in because I'm kind of frustrated with the other spaces given all the censorship, and they just don't want to get to the real truth. They dodge it, they avoid it. They're scared to mention, the Mossad-Israel connection with Epstein, and also how they control government officials. And I can present evidence. They don't want to hear it. They don't even want to have the conversation. God forbid you even bring up the genocide in Palestine. Like, I don't care about Palestine. I don't care about Lebanon. I don't care about the Middle East. Who cares if there's all these American bases that are committing atrocities? Who cares if there's private military contractors committing atrocities? I only care about America supposedly, but I don't care about American foreign policy for some reason. Seems like a double standard and hypocrisy to me. Either you care about America and all of its policies, or you don't. You can't just cherry pick and be selective like that and pretend you're a patriot. So I have to condemn that.
That's the most frustrating part, is that they act like they're patriots, that they're taking this stand, that they're gonna, but when it actually comes time to do that, to actually take a stand for something, they're nowhere to be seen.
This Judeo-Christian shit. Look at this shit. Pastor Greg Locke just posted, if my stand for Israel burns down the house, I've got the matches in my hand. Let's roll. This is a fucking problem, guys.
We have to start talking to our pastors. I mean, we go there every week and we have them talk to us, but we have to let them know that they're wrong on this. I mean, it's a big problem.
204,000 followers. This
isn't it so problematic that it's like
crazy.
But Christians, it's our fault, Like, we have to go speak to our pastors about this. We need to study the Bible ourselves and show them how they're wrong. But they're going to be like the space host. They're not going to want to talk about it. We just have to keep pushing them.
That's kind of addendum to my story. I've been toying around with the idea of going back there and confronting them in that same Sunday school class. I want to get my my Jacob's cross necklace first and put it on, so I can be like, hey Dave, you like my necklace? and then I want to get into it. I want to ask questions. I want to say, hey, why do you all worship a God that selected another race of people to be his chosen? And if this is true, why do we spend no amount of time talking about them contemporarily, their affairs, Judaism as it exists today? And then also, why are these people also known usurers, fraudsters, child abusers, nation-destroying, Marxist, baby penis-sucking freaks that have been kicked out of hundreds of countries thousands of times? What's that? And I really want to see. I want to see the reaction. So yeah,
they just typically won't talk about it.
Yeah, or they'll tell me to leave. I think they're just going to tell me to leave, which is a cop out. You're a minister. You're supposed to discourse with me about these things. You don't have any answers. You're just going to tell me to get out. I've given hundreds of dollars to this church, unfortunately, and I have. And I went there for a year, and so I just have to get out. Then you don't want to meet me intellectually. I think it might, get some noodles activated, and people might start thinking about it. I think it's important, like you said, to confront them.
I was kicked out of my church. I was kicked out of my church that I was a member of for 19 years. I gave over $200,000 to that church. The pastor was my best friend. I helped my 17-year-old daughter run off with a 28-year-old divorced man, and I'll never see or speak to her again. So don't think for a minute
that the people at your church are necessarily going to like you for telling you that the Bible said, let God be true and every man a liar. And the pastors are the liars. Because God's true.
Yep. And I've seen things at that church. Actually, I attended a wedding on, it was Christmas Eve or Christmas night. There was a service where a couple got married. And then I saw that girl at a grocery store like a month later, maybe a little less than a month later. And she was there with another man in the middle of the day. And so it was like she was cheating on the guy. It's like these people aren't even, they don't practice anything. They're so lost.
Yeah, and I think that means I really think we have a good chance of beating these people, you guys. I mean, everybody that we're against is running and hiding, or they're trying to filibuster or fill up the spaces with nonsense so that we don't talk about it. We're not the ones running and hiding. They're the ones running and hiding. And the Bible talks about that. I mean, they're going to run away. We're not going to. We have nothing to hide from. We have the facts. We're going to talk about it. So I think that they're afraid that we're not going to stop with the pressure. And they should be, because we're not going to. But they're in a frenzy right now. We're not. So we don't need to be afraid that we're going to lose, because I don't think we're going to allow that to happen.
Look at Revelation chapter 18. I think it starts about verse 4. But God already knew that his people would be in bed with the whore of Babylon, because he says to his people, come out of her and not be partakers of her wrath, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. And then he tells his people to reward her as she rewarded you. And the cup that she filled to you, fill it to her double. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Now the reason the whore of Babylon claims that she's not a widow is because that would require that she admits that she murdered her husband at Calvary. And if you want proof of that, just go to Romans chapter, it's either 7 or 9, and read the first 10 verses. And it'll be pretty plain that Israel was made a widow. They're the ones who killed their husband.
Or is he bisexual? Which one is he?
He a reptile.
He both, because he said he wanted to fuck me.
Men can't be. Let me shut up. Never mind.
Yes. No, is he gay or is he bi?
Get on you. That nigga
Yes.
I don't like to. He sure did. Remember, like.
You know what? I don't even believe in bisexualism. I believe in gay or not.
He's thinking like that.
I don't have to really wear deodorant.
Me too, Patty. I don't
I hardly ever wear deodorant.
See, but y'all helping my point, cause Brooklyn, y'all be washing off the pheromones when y'all I don't want y'all fresh out of bath. Like I say, just it's I can't even. I mean, I'm explaining it, but y'all ain't feeling it. It's it is what it is. But there's something about.
But when you do
It's a generational thing, man.
Oh, thank you, Womack.
Old niggas like musty ass shit.
Thank you, Womack.
I'm old, but I don't. Me personally, I'm gonna take mine out the shower. I like mine out the shower.
Thank you, Womack. At least you put me in my generation.
Cause don't that remind you of a 1970s porn? They just look like they smell everybody, and all porn just was ew.
Yeah, the hair everywhere. They showered all day.
Yeah, they ain't got they down there. Ain't
hair
shaving.
everywhere.
I know, April. We're gonna get into it again.
God give you hair, you little silly motherfucker. You.
With these youngins, April. You gotta teach them, April. They need to be taught.
It looks like I'm just aghast at this. This is crazy. This is crazy to me, Michael. This is crazy.
I think the other day,
one
of y'all said something about women that shave look like toddlers. What's going on? Women that get waxed look like toddlers.
I don't like it completely clean. I don't like. You gotta have some. I want some hair. Man, this trip. So I need some hair. I need some kind of hair now.
That's all right. I'll look like a toddler. I don't care.
I'm gonna give you that word. The word is hirsute.
I ain't gonna turn it down. I don't be turning it down, but I'm saying, but I'd rather have hair, but I ain't gonna turn it down if it's.
There are women in this world who are hairy. It's called hirsute. They can't shave every fucking thing they have, or else it gets.
No, I'm hairy. I'm hairy.
Stronger.
April, I'm hairy. I'm very hairy. I get hair on my arms. I get my face planed. I get my face waxed. I get my whole body waxed. Today I had my whole body waxed. I'm talking about from head to toe.
Depends on what you're looking for.
That's cool. If that's what you want to do. I mean, that's cool. But what I'm trying to say is there's nothing wrong with a woman having hair on her body because that's natural.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
there's nothing wrong with that. It just ain't for me.
There shouldn't be nothing wrong with that.
She said it sounds painful. Nah, but I've been doing it so damn long.
There shouldn't be nothing wrong with a shorty having hair on her body.
I've been telling you that all day, dickhead.
That's her natural.
Nobody said that.
If you don't like that,
Shut
you got
up.
bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, I don't want hair on my body. How about that? It's 100 degrees.
You don't like that, but if you have that shit, shorty, I'll still.
Okay, bitch, for a
I'm not gonna
minute.
take too
No,
much.
it's still, it's
I don't
still,
want
keep
that.
going, battle rap, bro. Hey, Toxic, put that shit up. Battle rap, bro. Me versus Rich. This bitch nigga. He's a snitch nigga. Switch
That out
nigga.
of our system. Cool.
I don't got nothing to do with the
One
dick
back triple
switch.
with the PTR.
Yeah, what the fuck is that? Damn wildebeest.
Sasquatch or something. I don't know. Sasquatch woman.
Is it more spicy?
That's probably how I look at my dick and fucking.
Dialysis.
But I got hairy arms. Like when I was a little kid, I could probably braid that shit. That's how thick my hair would be on my arms. And I used to have a unibrow.
It is just the preference of the person and the person attracted. That's just.
So what about
for everybody?
what about you women for men?
I still felt that strong.
Like, do you
Scotty tired of us talking about women.
Back in the day, this was Taylor.
Okay, go ahead. What you saying, Scotty?
No,
No, what if guys are hairy or
You don't get
smooth?
to
Like,
back
is
in
there a
the days
preference
Taylor
that women
brought.
have?
I don't really have a preference about the hair, but I'm really not into that taco meat shit. With all that goddamn hair on your chest.
Yeah, I got a little bit of taco meat. Sometimes I actually shave it.
Yeah, just too much.
Like right now, it's unshaven, but I don't have a lot though.
Yeah, but I don't really have a preference when it comes to hair for me.
Like, shower, right? I just want to be clear.
Hmm.
But all you women want you men to shower, right?
Oh fuck yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right. Just say that again. I want them to hear it.
a low bar.
Yeah, the man got a shower. It was 9 that said he know girl. He be getting with girls straight out the gym. Fuck that.
I mean, if you shower after you work out.
Nah, he talking about not showering. That's nasty. You ain't about to throw my pH balance off.
And what about cologne, though? Like, I hate cologne. I hate it.
I like cologne.
I don't like to lick all over a woman and she got the perfume. That shit been up on my tongue. Yeah.
I think there's like a fine line to walk. Like, when somebody smells good, it's one thing. But like when you just, like I just showed up or you just pulled up and you just doused yourself with some shit, like that's different. I don't like that shit.
Exactly.
But like if you had it on for some time or you got lotion on or something that just smells good, you just smell good, then that's fine. Actually, I prefer that.
My dad said I smell like a French whore because
What the
I
fuck?
use like body lotion, freaking sprays, everything.
Patty layer.
Girls who use body butters though, I don't know exactly what. I don't know what y'all be using for real, but
It's
yeah,
the shea
like,
butters with the little fume.
the skin and the smell. Yeah, all of that.
What you was saying, April?
No, I said you be doing the layers, Patty.
Yeah, because you know I buy a lot of herb perfumes, so like they have rose.
Well, you know, if you don't though, the scent dies away if you just use one product. You know what I mean?
Now let me tell you, we were down range, right? I wear perfume all the time, so it's like kind of stuck in my clothing and stuff. Soldiers would be like, "Ma'am, I think your clothes. How do you know my clothes?" They'd be like, They said they can smell my clothes. It's like we can smell your clothes in here.
Speaking of downrange, you have never smelled anybody worse than smelling people coming back from an exercise downrange.
Yeah, I keep oils. I keep freaking. I keep everything on me. When I go downrange, I bring a Tough Box. My Tough Box has my moisturizer for my face, my sunscreen. I'll bring like 10 perfumes with me when I'm going downrange. Shit, I got Victoria's Secrets to send to Fob a whole bunch of freaking body washes and stuff. For free. I just wrote them a letter and said, hey, we're downrange. I'm trying to get my stuff shipped. They won't ship to. At the time, it was my first deployment. They won't take time wrap. Their motherfuckers sent me like 10 boxes of lotions, body washes. And I just distributed them to all the females. It was a lot.
How many do you have now? How many of those boxes or bottles do you have now?
Man, that shit was my first deployment. That was years ago. No, I shared it with the soldiers.
Oh, yeah, you shared it.
All the female soldiers. I put it right outside my office, and then I told them information. Hey, if you know any other females on the Fob, tell them to come by my office, and they can get a wash. And, it was wash, lotions, and sprays. So I gave all of them like at least 3.
Yeah, we had an influencer living in this house that we were all in, and when he moved out, he had all this shit coming to the house. Just for free, you know.
Yeah, we be getting free shit downrange. We get, every time I go downrange, it says Victoria's Secrets did that, I always write them and they'll send stuff. So I'll get that and distribute it to the soldiers. I'll tell them how many soldiers out there, how many female soldiers.
Male soldiers too?
No, just the females. I just do it for the females.
Is that stuff comfortable to wear? Is that lingerie comfortable to wear?
No, not lingerie. I be telling them that we downrange and we don't have access to nice lotions, and they'll send like a whole bunch of like the last deployment they sent boxes, but it was the smaller lotions and the smaller things, but it's still a whole bunch.
I'm laughing. Hold on. Left had a whole fantasy in his head. Y'all down range and some titties and shit and thongs or whatever. I see you working a left.
Michael,
I see you
just
working.
because you and I got the same kind of visions.
No, I didn't have that vision. I knew what she was talking about. I'm just saying, because you talking about, is that comfortable when you're out there? Like I know where your mind was when you said that. Talking about, is it comfortable out there? Like, that's hilarious.
It is a movie though. So, Patty, what's the biggest gun you ever shot?
The what?
What's the largest caliber gun you ever shot? I think you're like 30 cals, or you got 50 cals?
We got 50 cals. But I shot something bigger than 50 cals. That weapon. It was really heavy. It was heavier than me. And I had to put my feet on the turret and pull back. I had to use my
They say that's an experience just to let a 50 cal go? Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I think when you first join, yeah, it's cool. After a while, you be like, fuck this, 'cause I don't want to shoot shit.
Right? Unless like you're taking down some food bigger than a 50 cal. That's crazy.
It's shocking hearing angry white American men claiming Jews from the world as dishonest running pedophiles and blackmailing them.
No, they got weapons where there's this one weapon we got, and you have to hold it with both hands, and you hit the trigger with your, you got to use both thumbs to push it. Fuck, what's it called? It's usually privates use it. But shit. Seniors don't want to fucking, put that shit up.
Yeah.
And you gotta, like, be really strong and pull it back, and it's really hard to pull back. So, like, for me...
It's not recoil? Or does it stabilize?
It's stabilized. So, for me... I gotta put my feet on the, the top of a Humvee. They have a little circle area. I have to, like, take my feet, put it on the metal. Like, I'm sitting with my knees up, and I have to hold it and then, like, use my legs to push just to pull it back. That's how heavy that shit is.
Wow. I hear you, Patty. I had to do that.
Hey, Patty. Hold on real quick. Hey, Patty, when you get a chance, check the Telegram.
Okay.
But yeah.
Mike, you in the Telegram, you hardly be
private.
texting on it.
Like they
I don't really go in there that much anymore because I've been in school and some other stuff or whatever. But yeah, I used to go in there a lot when we first started doing it, but I just haven't been that active.
Did you see your name in there when you first went in there?
Where?
Telegram.
You in the Telegram too, I left?
Nah.
No, we set it up.
No, that would be trouble. I'd get in there.
We set it up back in the day when we first started. We set it up for everybody to
Is it to where, like, if you have like a gram or two with you and you're just smoking, the cops will let you go. But if you have more than like 2 grams, they're gonna take you to jail.
If you want to come to Chicago,
What the fuck, dude?
Different jurors, and they're going to top 10 towns in the district to interview voters and residents.
That's crazy. I think all drugs should be legalized. The problem is, look at this fentanyl bullshit that's happening in America. Like, like the reason why that is because it's not, okay, so like a drug dealer, right? Like if a business is selling you weed, then their reputation is on the line. Like they can't sell you fentanyl-laced weed because then that affects their bottom line. Or like that affects their business. That affects their reputation. That affects everything. They can't do that. They can't lace something. A drug dealer, like just some random street dealer, he doesn't give a fuck, right? He doesn't care. I mean, as long as he's moving the product, he probably doesn't even know half the time if it's laced with fentanyl. He has no idea. And he doesn't care. Whereas if it's a business and it's your bottom line, like if it's an actual business and, like you have a reputation on the line and things like this. I mean, I guess drug dealers have that, but it's just not, it's not the same as like a business like selling weed. And as much as I hate to say this, because I don't like regulation, even regulations can help that too. Regulations can help like avoid bad, drugs from getting into people. So I think it's just stupid that things are illegal because it's gonna be done anyway. You know what I mean? It's gonna be done anyway regardless. So it's like you might as well make it safe and make sure that if something is laced with fentanyl, like that business like is punished for that and like immediately would go under. Or like I don't like government, but at least the government would be able to shut down someone who's like putting poison in substances.
And maybe we can focus more on like rehabilitation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
With the proceeds the government will get from like making drug businesses open.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So I think all drugs should be legalized. Meth, heroin, all of it. I think it should be legalized. Do I think that stuff is good? No, but I think it's, at least it would be not laced with like literal shit that will actually kill you if you take it. You know what I mean? Because that's the problem. A lot of it is like pretty street, like dirtied up and stuff. It's like really dirty. So that's how people like OD a lot and like really fuck themselves up because they poison themselves without even realizing it because all these drugs are illegal. It's bullshit. That's one thing that the Democrats have right.
Case.
They should legalize all drugs. They should.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But they don't want to hear it. That's a problem.
Oh, Sonny, the other thing too is that, what do you think about psilocybin mushrooms? Do you like mushrooms?
I haven't tried them.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
I don't try psychedelic.
I've heard that they actually have a lot of really beneficial benefits to it. I've taken mushrooms a few times. I liked it, but it was okay. It was okay. I liked it. I'm glad that I did it. But I have heard that they're really beneficial for people.
What does it feel like?
So I was with my brothers when I took it the last time, and we were camping. Like we went out camping at like a campground / that. Like I was like, I want to become a millionaire. Like that was like the mushroom trip was literally that. That was like the first time that I was like, that's my first goal is to make $1 million. That's what I wanted to do. That trip like helped me realize that. So, but then on top of that, like the visuals were really cool and it was fun. Yeah, it was fun. It was with my family. It was with my brothers, so it was a good time. But I guess for some people, psilocybin is actually really beneficial for them. Like it can help them cure trauma and
right. It's good. I guess
it helps with a lot of different things. So
that's right. That's right.
Obviously, I don't think like eating 1/8 of mushrooms that's probably not. I don't know if that's good, but I think in controlled doses there's a lot of research that shows that there's a lot of benefits to it. Like it also opens up like new neural pathways that weren't there before.
That's right. That's right.
It like connects. It like I'm not a brain doctor, but like it connects like different things in the brain. So that weren't normally connected. So maybe it would make you look at things a different way and stuff. Like it changes your perspective. So.
That's right. That's right. I care, by the way. I care.
Is everybody here real people?
I care about you.
What do you mean we're real? What do you mean? Yeah, dude, I'm a real ass person, bro.
Adam oil me.
Come to fucking
Enjoying us knowing real people.
Yeah.
I have a whole YouTube channel, bro.
Yeah. Chase is very real. Like you can follow him on.
I have a YouTube channel, bro.
What if I told you everyone here is ChatGPT?
Okay, be nice. Be nice.
Why are you making him schizo?
He goes, is everyone here real people? What kind of question is that? Like, what the fuck?
Like,
yes, bro.
Like, if I stabbed you, like...
You're so... Whoa.
You really are funny.
Let's not do that.
You stab me? You'd be like, death to all infidels.
That's probably what he would say. I have a feeling that's exactly what he would say.
America's haram. I hate America.
Okay.
Haram land.
You mean it? Okay.
Worshiping murder.
First of all, like all my Jewish friends, like just relax.
Death to Israel. Death to Israel.
Whoa, okay.
Is everyone here real?
David, you said before you're a follower of Rabbi.
Yeah, I am a Zionist.
Wait, is David? Didn't David have a freak out with me once in the past? Labubu?
Yeah, he did.
I think I have some memory of this. Yes, no, it's coming.
Yeah, it was you. Shit talking Jewish people, PhD.
Okay,
Sorry,
leave
which
my leave my Jewish. Leave my Jewish friends alone. Okay.
Who are those people? we don't speak of those people. These are us.
Well, I can speak to my Jewish friends.
Bro, I had my name on Clubhouse before I went public and everything. I had my name Alchemist Goldstein.
Dude, see, I thought Goldstein was like your actual name.
No, dude, it's not. Dude, Goldstein, and then people would be like, "Wait, you're Jewish, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." But dude, people knew. Like, I think I told all of you in here. I was like, "Yeah, dude, I'm not actually Jewish. It's just a joke."
David, how does it feel that your identity has become a punchline?
I don't know what that means.
Like, Chase says, "Hey guys, I'm Jewish," and we right away laugh, right? Like, haha.
I don't. Why is that funny?
I'm asking you, what are your thoughts on it being?
You don't ask. Yeah. With all the respect.
There's something else that's funny about that. My name would be Alchemist Goldstein, but then I would go in and talk about 9/11.
Alchemist.
Dude, I would go in and be like, my name would be Alchemist Goldstein, and I'd be like, yeah, dude, Jews did 9/11.
I would definitely if there was an Alchemist Goldstein, I would definitely.
When Chase was in a room with Alberto and the other Zionists,
oh Jesus!
And Chase starts listing everything
Okay,
that
okay, hold on, be nice, be nice.
Kicked out of. Chase was like Romania, 1302.
Okay,
be nice as Chase. Okay, be nice as Chase. Be nice.
No, dude, it was hilarious. Dude, it was funny. My name was Alchemist Goldstein at the time, bro.
You had the purple dinosaur.
Yeah, yes, my name was Alchemist. My name was Alchemist Goldstein.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that shit was hilarious, bro. Oh my god.
Two instances.
What?
They have, every time they've been attacked, they have given the land back.
Oh.
And they have
I
tried
said
to
no.
refuse.
Crimes against humanity. Crimes against humanity.
No.
Has Israel ever done any actions that are crimes against humanity?
Not like Hamas or ISIL.
We're not to compare it.
She actually said that every time we get attacked, he gives the land back. So every time Israel gets caught stealing land, it starts a war. It bombed Gaza in 2008, 2012, 2014, 2021, and now in 2023 they did it again. All this is happening while they're expanding their illegal settlements in the West Bank. So stop with your bullshit that every time you get attacked, you return the land. You can't lie anymore. You're full of shit. You can't make those lies. Look up those numbers that I gave you. Look up what you did in those years.
6,000 years.
6,000 years. What the fuck are you talking about? 6,000.
It's called the Torah, it's called the Bible, it's something you've never heard of.
So you made the claim.
Can we do one person? Ace was speaking as please, come on, man. And then we can pass the mic to people, one person at a time. There's no point of doing personal attack. We're just hearing
Karen, since 1948, has Israel done anything since the formation of Israel? Don't talk about 6,000 years. Israel has, as the state we know it know it as today.
How
Has
many
Israel done
countries?
anything? I'm talking. No, please answer my question. I answered your question. Please,
Yeah, I have
Karen,
a question.
Karen, no, you answered my question. I answered your question earlier, and then you started talking about political things. I'm talking about, has Israel ever committed crimes against humanity since 1948 against Palestinians and its neighbors? Yes or no?
I think
Yes or no?
I think there were some not that have happened.
What was that?
Absolutely.
Okay, you think yes.
I would not call them.
Nothing. Did you see my YouTube video I made of you?
I didn't. I did not.
Oh, really? I thought you liked it.
You made a YouTube video about me?
I mean, I screenshotted your pictures and then I did like a Bitcoin video music overlay or something. And you liked it. It was like a couple of weeks ago.
Wait, what? John scaring your dude, I don't think you did.
I did. I sent it to you. You liked it. You saw it. Maybe I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, it's not on this phone.
Is it on YouTube?
It's on YouTube. I tagged you with your Chase Your Grace or whatever it is.
Wait, really? Wait, what,
Yeah,
is it on,
Chase Your
what,
Grace.
yeah, what YouTube it?
You'd have to like go into your notifications too. People hate me.
Now, I'm told that I need to be eliminated on the chats. So
let me say something.
you're
River to the sea. Did you know? Do you know what that means?
That means that's in the charter of Hamas to kill
Yes. So do you know what the charter? No, it's not. It's not.
Hey,
It's not.
to kill
Which charter?
everyone.
What year? What year? What year?
I don't know what.
You don't
Look up
Do you know the
Hamas.
Likud Charter? Have you heard of the Likud Charter, the party which BB represents?
Yes.
And do you know what the Likud Charter says?
No.
Okay, that's the problem. You only know one end of history that supports your claims. You need to
Do
literally.
you deny? Do you know?
What am I denying?
From the river to the sea. Somebody just
River to the sea,
said to the sky, to the sky. All you want to do is kill Jews.
Not the sea.
River to the sea
You.
does not mean to kill Jews. Okay? It means
A guy who
freedom,
ever
it means
speaks.
autonomy. Okay? But hold on. Have you seen the
said it, Ace.
It literally explicitly
Person
states
on
about a
the
greater
street
Israel
just
plan.
said it.
It's not to kill Jews. That's your interpretation of it. It's
Ask
freedom.
him. Ask
I already asked him. I already
Look at
know
him
what his point
smiling.
is. I know his
He's
point.
smiling and
Yes,
laughing.
he's smiling because you're being ridiculous. Do you know the Likud Charter? You don't even know the Likud Charter.
I don't have to. I know the Hamas.
Why don't you
Charter.
know it? You have to know
Ask
the ends.
me what it means. Ask
Do you
him.
know what the Likud Charter says? It talks about annexing land all the way from Lebanon to Syria to Palestine, saying that this is the greater Israel plan. It belongs to Jewish people only. That's the Likud Charter.
We're actually not going to do anything if you find that what you guys did in 1948 is normal and you did nothing wrong. Then from the river to the sky, we're going to do exactly what happened in 1948. Tell me if you have a problem with it.
By the way, I want to address something Karen said about the war. Karen, I think cleansing started happening in 47, not in 48. 48 was it led up to the war in 48. We have Jewish Israeli historians like Benny Morris. He's a Zionist historian. He agrees on this. Ilan Pape, he's a Jewish historian. He agrees on that. UN agrees on it. The ethnic cleansing started happening in 47 when they denied the partition plan, right? So Israel, even before the creation of the state called Israel, they've been involved in a whole bunch of criminal acts. You see what I'm saying? So they've been committing slow genocides in 1947 up to now. But now
Yeah, that's why the population has increased in Gaza
A lot of
because
weak
of
stuff
genocide.
employed. You people don't run because you guys rejected UN resolutions. You ignored ceasefires. You violated everything. Every single agreement was put on the table. You controlled the air, you controlled the sea, you controlled the borders, and you still claim that you're a victim. Just like what you're doing now. You're trying to pull the victim card on us. You fucking bomb civilians and you call it peace. You jail the children and you call it peace. And you bulldoze homes and you call it peace. What peace are you fucking talking about?
Andres, she said the population went up. I know Normal texted you in the back channel. In relate to the definition of genocide, it doesn't have to go up or down. It doesn't matter. The numbers don't matter. It could be part or whole, and that makes it a genocide. B'Tselem, and you have the Physicians for Human Rights inside Israel. They came out and they said it's a genocide. Right, and these are Israeli organizations.
I don't think
not
it's
even
a good
the
idea.
Pro-Pali organizations.
I don't think this title is
and then you have a whole bunch of other scholars.
One question. Play.
I have
And
one
I'd highly
question.
encourage you to take better tips
Get out of here
and stay away from
it's
some
too much. How come nobody ever mentions the British or the Turks who took over the Middle East, basically? You know, you don't have a problem with them and what they did. But why don't you read the history about how the Turks took over the Middle East?
Why don't you focus on Israel? Why don't you focus on Israel?
Actually, you know what? Let's address this, Karen.
Why did the British come in and take over? Why nobody mentions them and what they did? And by the way, Gaza was given back to you guys in 2005. And by the way, the electricity and the water.
So nice of you giving us our land back.
One second, free, 1 second, brother. Gordon, finish really quick because I need to respond to your first claim about the Turks and whatnot that you made a claim about, Karen. Go on.
You want me to say something about them?
Yeah, the issue I have, right? Very intellectually dishonest. I didn't know you were intellectually dishonest. Do you know, thanks to the Muslims, the Caliphate brought the Jews back into Jerusalem? Did you know this? Otherwise, they would have got butchered and slaughtered by the Christians. I think you should look into the historical facts, right? And the other thing is that you can't make such bold claims without historical facts and background. Under Ottoman Empire, the Jews actually thrived. Did you know that? You know, and we have a rabbi. Do you want to testimony of the rabbi? He said,
I don't read fantasy fairy tale books, but that's interesting that you say that. Go.
So the Caliphate never brought the Jews back in Jerusalem? The Muslim Caliphate. Go and prove me wrong. This is coming from a Jewish.
It's in the Jewish encyclopedia. I'll put the chat.
Yeah, a Jewish encyclopedia. Do you disagree with that?
You think just because somebody has a Jewish name?
No, it's Jewish encyclopedia.
Do you think we all agree with who?
Karen, please.
Come on.
I highly suggest you to educate yourself about history because clearly you don't know anything from this.
The way he was remembered yesterday and how that
actually, they saved Jews from Spain and drove them some of them to Algeria, others they went to Istanbul, and the Sultan himself went there to welcome them. And they still they still like the Turkish Jews now are actually those who were like basically saved by the Turks themselves. Prior to that, the Jews themselves in Andalusia, and you must learn about this. They had the golden age of the Jewish culture under the Islamic rule in Spain. Then when the Crusade and when the Spaniard they invaded the Spanish peninsula, they moved with Muslims to North Africa, and until now there are like synagogues that date back to those years, and they thrived there and they lived there protected, and they had their own businesses. They thrived politically and economically
and
socially.
What happened in 1492?
Wait a moment, please. So before cherry picking, some events, and we can discuss them even, okay? Just try to be, try to make some peace with yourself, okay? And try to forget some of your hate.
What happened in 1942 in Spain?
Please, I didn't talk earlier. You've been talking for almost 30-50 minutes. I'm gonna finish with this. So try to just, get rid of some of the hate you have towards Muslims, towards Arabs, whatever you hate. I don't care. I don't give a shit about it.
I don't
And try
hate.
and try to
You
learn
don't
and
know
try to
me.
read and try to read
As a matter
everything
of
about
fact,
history. No,
You know.
it's not up to you. It's not up to you to decide what are facts and what not. You are not a historian here, you genius. So have some peace, okay, and be open-minded and learn about history, and then you are welcome to discuss it. But when someone brings you a historical argument, and then you try, you gaslight them, and refute historical facts. It's not up to you. It's not up to you to rewrite history. Okay, with all respect to you, it's not your job. Okay, your job is to learn about history.
My job is to shut the fuck up, right? You don't want me to speak.
No. Educate yourself.
Well, you're not letting me. I have a question
He has
for you.
30 seconds to finish.
Skip your brother, land your plane, man. Land your plane. You go on.
My question to you is, the entire area had Jews and Arabs all over. Guess what? There aren't any Jews in Yemen. There aren't any Jews in Iran. There aren't any Jews in Iraq.
Can you please tell us when were the Jews kicked out of these countries? Can you tell us what year were they kicked out of these countries?
It was between World War
There's
I and World War II.
There's 35,000 Jews living in Iran.
Yes, and there is in Morocco, and there is in other countries in the area. But can you tell us specifically, to the point that you're trying to make, to the point, when were they kicked out? After 1948, after your Zionist entity, your genocidal state was established.
You keep saying I don't know history. All the Middle East countries.
Kareem, multiple times. Hold on, guys. Hold on.
You gotta be able to respond, or let her.
And you know what? I know people. Who's one friend of mine, the grandmother walked 1,000 miles from Yemen. So don't fucking tell me I don't know about the history. I'm not a young person. I'm an old person. I have relatives who have been going to the Middle East forever. Okay? And I know things that other people absolutely don't know about. And I told you I had friends when I was a teenager. And the closest person I am to is a Muslim doctor. Okay? So don't tell me I'm full of hate. But don't just twist history because you don't like Netanyahu. I don't like Netanyahu. I don't like Netanyahu.
We don't twist history. You don't accept history. You cherry pick your history.
You have written the most hateful things I've read.
I don't care. I'm not here to comfort your feelings and your emotions.
No, but you are full of hatred and you attack me personally.
When you deny the suffering of Palestinian children and people, Kareem, you are denying what we're all seeing on live television, the suffering of Palestinian children and people as we fucking speak, who are starving to death. You deny that. And then you expect people to be nice to you. Kareem, then you expect people to be nice to you. Have some decorum. You are at what age now? Have some decorum. Then you pretend like you don't know history. The only history you do know is the one that supports your narrative, which is sickening. Please.
Okay, same to you.
Same to me, by the way. Just so you know, no one's attacking you. Do not play victim. Do not play victim. You said that children are not starving right now. Kareem, are people starving right now in Gaza? Are children starving? They're not?
No, there's
You are a lying scumbag. Your ancestors are rolling in their graves.
Oh, shut up about my ancestors. Goodbye.
No. Look.
You're against it.
It's totally useless to discuss with this woman. She's denying everything, not just history, but even current facts. Things that have been seen by everyone around the world, around the globe. And you are here, no, I'm not sorry. Kids. We've seen kids. Get checked it. Hey, we've seen skeleton kids. They are skeletons.
They're sick. That one kid has... That he has a disease.
No. Wait a moment.
There's a photograph of the family. His mother looks fine.
Women,
his mother
men,
is 300 pounds.
Dying because of starvation.
Let's talk about the Holocaust.
You sound like a Nazi.
Let's talk about the Holocaust, 1942, Karen. Do you know that to approach the Nazi, they wanted to take out the British? It was the Jewish militia gang called Lehi in 1940 to 41. Do you know why they approached the Hitler? It's because British decided to not give you guys a state, right? Because they saw the Zionists as a threat to the human lives and society. And that's why they approached the Hitler in 1940 to 41, right? And this is and why would you approach a Hitler when you know that this guy, this Hitler regime, is about to put Jews into the oven and turn them into soap? Why would you approach a Hitler? You know, and this is the big. I think you need to seriously. I would suggest you is open up some books about the Holocaust, and when you look at
My father was in a concentration camp.
Okay,
I have
what do we do about?
information from my mother and father who were in France when the Nazis came and the French did, take the children. The German Nazis didn't want the children. The Vichy government in France wanted.
What do we do about Warsaw Uprising, Karen? What do we do about Warsaw Uprising?
About a fucking history book.
What do we do about Warsaw Uprising?
I lived with history books.
So what Hamas is doing is they're doing the same shit. What happened in Warsaw Uprising?
But my mother
what happened in
Warsaw during the war? You know what? I am a history book, and instead of using me and learning something from me, you're so paranoid about whatever you think.
So what do you?
Okay, I don't even
let me
like
ask you this. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. What do you? Let me ask you this. Listen, relax. Let me ask you this. What do you think about what the Nazis are doing to the kids inside of Gaza? Over 20,000 are killed. What do you think about that?
What?
What do you think about what the Nazis are doing to the children in Gaza?
You don't mean Nazis, you mean Israelis, right?
No. I mean Nazis. And this is a compliment, to be honest with you. But
I don't know who you're talking about.
The IGF.
He's talking about the IDF. That's
the IGF. No, I'm talking about the IGF.
They're similar.
If you want me to say there are bad people who are Jewish, yes, there are bad people of all ethnicities and religions.
Oh, so I never use the term Jewish. I use the term Zionist. Because Zionism and Judaism, they don't go hand in hand. But so, what do you think about the IGF and their actions? Yeah. Do you know what IGF is? I thought you were a historian and you're all.
You're saying G instead.
I'm using IGF.
It's IDF.
No, you're too old.
It's Israeli Genocide Forces. Israeli Genocide.
Okay,
Israeli
stop.
Genocidal Forces. Yeah.
Stop.
What do you mean?
All right. Don't make.
Can I ask a question?
Karen,
Since you know history, can I ask you a question, guys, quickly? Because she knows history really well. Can you tell us about Nakam?
The what?
Have you heard of Nakam? NAKAM? After World War II, who they were?
The Nakba? What?
No, Nakam. NAKAM. If you don't know Nakam, have you heard of Joseph Harbats?
No.
You don't know these. This is very prevalent in history. So let me give you.
I'm not great with names.
Okay, so have you heard about the parliamentary organization of about 50 Holocaust survivors that tried to seek revenge against the Germans, and they planned to poison the waterways to kill 6 million Germans? You never heard of that? And then they failed, and then they went to Plan B. Hold on, then they did Plan B. You know that this man was honored in Israel. Since you know your history, I was hoping you knew that history, but I guess
You won't let me respond.
you said you didn't
I don't know.
So I educated the group.
I come from a family of Holocaust survivors. Why they didn't own the guns?
Let her finish.
Finish my fucking sentence and I'll leave.
Let her finish.
Why they didn't go get guns and go kill every living Nazi that was still alive, I don't know.
Do you support that? Do you think that would have been a good thing in your opinion? I mean, I support it.
I understand if your whole family's been killed to be angry, yes. But you know what? They didn't do that. The Jews
They did. They
did
tried.
not go back.
They tried. I just told you.
They're not a we're not a
I just
violent
told you.
bunch.
What do you mean
I just
you're
told
not
you.
a violent?
Hold on. Give me a second.
We aren't.
I gave you two instances in the Nakam, which is huge. Then I gave you Joseph Haratz, these are two groups that work to try to poison the water of 6 million Germans. Okay, to not just Nazis, it's Germans. Eye for an eye. I'll put the link in the chat. Maybe you can look it up yourself. Jewish history, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I can understand it. You can understand it. But then why don't you understand people in Gaza who for the last 76 years have been discriminated against, that have been killed, that have been literally be put in a box, have been allowed to move, go left, right, nowhere, where their homes have been stolen, their families have been killed. Why don't you understand when they decide to resist? Are they not allowed to, but you are allowed to. So your ancestors have every right to resist, but they don't.
Okay to do that.
No, but
You said that
you did lie. You literally just lied.
No, I didn't.
You said you guys are not violent.
Okay, fuck you. This is not
No, I'm actually addressing your claim. You said you're not violent. Is
because
that right?
they didn't go ahead and fight back.
They did.
So how was
why.
how was the state of Israel established?
Through legal means.
What do you mean? What's legal mean?
They bought the property. Stop
Can you
it.
tell us about the Nakba?
Wasn't a violent takeover.
So what is
Why
the
don't
Nakba?
you? Why don't you guys?
What is the Nakba? What is the Nakba?
It is the word that you use to describe. Okay, bye. Bye. You're rude.
Bye. Go on. Bye. I would do the same if I were in place.
This is them. They cannot handle the truth. The biggest fear they have is against the truth.
No,
it's not Hamas, it's not weapons, it's not rockets, it's nothing. It's the truth. It's a camera, bro. It's a phone.
In the beginning, she came, saying, and we heard her, very clear. She was very clear. She said, I think that the Israelis are killing civilians intentionally.
Yes.
So she was like talking about the Israelis as she was not, as she was not one of them, and then she started talking about herself being Jew, basically Zionist. Yeah, you have because you hate Netanyahu, I think she's a fan of him, one of his supporters, because she said, hey, you hate Netanyahu. She's like, bro, that's in the game.
She didn't even answer anything. Every question she was asked, she's like, what about Yemen? What about I'm a Holocaust? What about I'm a historian? I know this. And
yeah.
No, she pretended that she didn't know history, remember, guys? I don't really know. And then she started dropping back. She played victim. She didn't want to answer questions, so she turned to the chat. She wanted to play the victim card and it failed on her.
Remember, she said the Nakba is a word that we created.
Turn up the chat, on purpose, because I don't want her to focus on the chat.
Bro, all my conversation on the chat was towards the psychopath.
I know. She's doing anything that she could to get out of the conversation because she's been cornered. And she expects people who have a Palestinian heritage free to play nice with her when she is denied the suffering of children right here in front of us.
She's lucky I even unmute and try to engage with her. She's full of shit. They're full of lies. You need to call it for what it is. You can't be nice with these fucking scumbags. Now Nakba all of a sudden is a word that we created to divide. What the fuck are you talking about?
That
you destroyed 500.
Huh? She said that you used the Nakba, the word that you used.
What the fuck does that mean? You displaced over 750 Palestinians,
Yeah.
They destroyed over 500 towns and villages.
Then she
What the
said
fuck
they
are you
weren't
talking
starving.
about?
Then she said they weren't starving.
Yeah, they were not starving.
She was saying the women in Gaza are healthy and what the fuck? And by the way, just to let you guys know, those videos on the internet of people with weapons on those 8 trucks, these are tribes inside of Gaza that are protecting those trucks to make it to their locations. Has nothing to do with Hamas.
In every nation, there's going to be people who take advantage of situations, right? That doesn't mean it's all the Palestinians. This happens all the time, guys. Look at what happened during freaking COVID, where they were getting a whole bunch of, supplies, buying a bunch of them, and then trying to sell them in the black market. People do that in America.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, it's not really supermarkets like she said.
I know, but what I'm saying is there's going to be bad actors in every nation, but that's a small percentage. That's not the whole of Hamas.
Okay, if you claim that Hamas is the one stealing those aid trucks, you literally bombed everything inside of Gaza. So when you see them stealing those aid trucks, why the fuck do you not bomb them?
No,
you literally bombed everything in Gaza.
The UN already rejected that claim. They said that it's unlikely that Hamas is stealing anything from that food. And they confirmed that, in fact, the IUF is firing bullets at people like, humanitarian aid. And I think you've seen the former... the U.S. It was like a former colonel in the U.S. Army. Yeah, and he said that the IDF, they were firing. The Israeli soldiers, firing at people. He's seen that. He's been there, close to them. He didn't say that child died from some, random bullet. No, he said that the Israelis, they were firing at them. They killed that child.
They literally called the France, Macron, and Starmer anti-Semitic because they fucking criticized Israel. So are they also jihadists, Islamists? Are they all these terms that you use against us? No one cares about you on your fucking YouTube or your Instagram, bro. Shove both of them up your ass. You fucking pathetic piece of shit.
Our sympathy card has been declined.
No, they are losing all the narrative that the value, that taboo about, oh my God, how dare you, it's anti-Semitic, oh my God, we are victims of the Holocaust. They are desperate. They like the woman, she was here, she played all the cards, from the Holocaust to the chat, then and every time she tried to put up, a card.
It was declined.
They are losing it.
She gave us a combo.
They are losing everything.
Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, we have 2 aliens, 3 aliens. So one of them is actually Harry Bolzek, and one of them is actually Julian. There, if you look at it, 3 of them in the bottom, and one of them is a recorder that streams the room. And they don't have any life, and they come in here, they want to listen, record, do whatever you want to do, man. I don't mind. We're not even doing anything. We're just engaging with the conversation and relate to the facts.
No one cares about them. 6 million people share the same opinion. No one cares. Go record and put it wherever you want.
Sorry, I'm normal. When the time is not right, I don't bring you up, okay? And I kind of get annoyed of you. You're annoying as hell. You think that you can come in here and dominate the room. It doesn't work like that. And the amount of shit that you say in the chat about the kids and whatnot, it's very disturbing. You're genocide mania. Just